Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 2019 model year release. This is the Urban Jurgensen ONE GMT, reference 5541, 41 millimeters in stainless steel. It's one of the best takes on the popular integrated bracelet steel sports watch genre that I have seen outside of Patek, AP, Lange, and Vacheron. The watch at 41 millimeters in diameter is 14.1 millimeters thick, and while the lug-to-lug dimension is 46 millimeters, you get a better sense of its actual size across the wrist by measuring this polished end-link to end-link dimension, in which case its span across the wrist is 50.3 millimeters. We'll zoom out a little bit and get a better sense of the watch in proportion on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. We have a double deployant clasp, twin trigger release, throwing it on my wrist. The watch is not sized for my wrist, so take the flare at the edge of the bracelet with a bit of a grain of salt. It's considerably more hunkered and planted once you remove links. As you can see from over the top, it's not really approaching the edge of my wrist. Though it's 14 millimeters thick, it nestles down nicely, and with a dramatically sloped case flank, you will be able to wear this watch with a dress cuff, even with that thickness. Now you can see, just look at the lugs. Don't look at the edges of the bracelet, just look at the lugs to get an idea of how this watch is going to fit. And you can see the tips of the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist. Moving away a little bit, you get a better sense of how it wears in proportion to my greater arm. And then we're going to take a look at the bracelet. The bracelet is a lovely piece. Now, as you can see from the underside, you can, if you wish, fit a conventional strap to this watch. What appears at first glance to be a Nautilus or AP style integration is actually a conventional broad lug spacing, so you can actually put a strap in there provided you have the correct sized strap. Taking a quick look at the bracelet, you can see it uses a set of polished elliptical intermediates, and then the primary links are satin finished outboard as well as across their tops. There's a lovely taper to the bracelet, and then the bracelet features, as you can see, removable links fixed by screws. Taking a quick look at the clasp, it is a non-sequential close, which means either side can close before the other. It is a twin trigger release, and internally it is satin finished with polished triggers. The triggers, in short, cannot open accidentally, so a very secure system. You have two polished pushers that allow you to regulate the local time, which can also drive the date forward or backwards. And I'll demonstrate how that works right here. See, I can drive the date forward or backwards depending on whether I'm traveling east or west. The 24-hour dial is at the base of the dial, and you can see 24 hours, that's your second time zone. The watch does feature hacking or stop seconds. You unscrew the crown, pull it all the way out, it stops the balance. You could set the watch to a reference time, or if you wish, you can just use the crown to wind the watch. Both are viable. Now you see, when I set the watch in hacked seconds mode, I'm also setting the second time zone. So if I want to set the second time zone, I set it first, then I screw the crown down, and then I set my local time using the triggers. It's also a very handy system if you are traveling a time zone at a time. So if you are a traveler, this is an excellent piece. You can see that the case band is a little bit more complex than it might appear at first glance, as we have these lovely angular thrusting quasi-blended lugs. They are broken out from the case band a little bit, so they have independent sculptural form, and you can see that on both sides. The bezel is tall, conical, and polished. It has a small vertical lip, and then the majority of it is somewhere between a domed curve and a conical slope. A screw-down crown, 120 meters water resistant. This dial in blue is called Urban Blue, and we have all applique dart style rhodium-plated indices, lovely hands, there is lume, and then there is a wave-style guilloche across the center dial. Now, this is a stamped guilloche, but a lovely, handsome, and apropos pattern for an aquatic watch. So this is a watch that is fun on the dial side, but a riot on the reverse, and I love everything about this case back. You're looking at Urban Jurgensen exclusive caliber, GMT P5. Automatic winding, 3-day 72-hour power reserve. It is very tough. With a full balance bridge and a free sprung index, it's shock resistant. It's beaten away at 3 hertz or 6 beats per second. And of course, you have that second time zone in 24-hour format, and the ability to jump the local time in 1-hour increments either way. 34 joules, handsomely hand-finished, and adjusted in a chronometer-style 5 positions. This is a movement that really has it all. There's nothing I would like to have that is not present on this movement. Durability, beauty, abundant hand finishing, properly sized for the case back, the mark of a true manufacturer, and the individual finishing decisions are handsome ones. Note the sunburst Côte de Soleil radiating out from the balance. You can see it better across the bridges, splaying out rather than perfectly aligned Côte de Genève. Blued screws with a deep, rich blued hue, and I should mention that this timepiece also features a number of black polished screws on the reverse side. The bevels are a mile wide and mirrored, quite handsome, and note the use of a 22-carat winding mass rather than the cheaper and more common 21 or 18-carat masses. No expense spared here. There's engine turning on the base plate, satination on the wheels, and a number of handsome features such as this swan's neck click spring adjacent to my finger, a lovely reference to the pocket watch era of Urban Jurgensen production. This watch, originally priced at close to $40,000 US, is not a discount alternative to the likes of the Overseas, the Nautilus, and the Royal Oaks. It's not a Chopard Alpine Eagle. It's not a Bell & Ross B05. The BR05 is a sub $6,000 watch. At 40 grand, this is a like-for-like high horology rival to the established players in the segment, and I have to say, on every level, it succeeds. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Back with the Urban Jurgensen ONE GMT in the dark.